Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Myers, and I am joined with Mr. Stephen Hicks from Health Rebels. And we are here today with our podcast, Action Coach Spokane. And today our topic is how to be a confident leader. So we are just going to share some insights and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the best way to go about today's episode is because you're the business coach side, you're the one that's got the PhD in organizational systems and operations. I think if we start thinking about inside the organization, I think you can help a lot of leaders here. So I'm curious, from your perspective, from your experience, like what are the benefits of showing up as a confident leader?
Well, when you show up as a confident leader, the team, they'll have confidence through the team, and you'll have a lot more stability and just a more stable team.
Nice. So it kind of trickles down, stabilizes the team. Like what's next after that? What happens after that? Like what's the point of having a stable team?
Well, it's like, when you do you like to work for an organization that's organized and you feel good, or do you like to work in chaos? I know
I
you.
hate chaos.
Yeah. So yeah, it creates a more healthy aspect when you have a confident person running the ship.
Awesome. And then with servant leadership principles, what are some things that you can implement as a leader that makes it easier to be confident inside your organization?
Well, there's three things that I can think of. One is values. When you walk the walk and talk the talk, and you say you're going to show up at 4 p.m. and you show up at 4 p.m., your team sees that. And they say, hey, I trust that guy because when he says something, he does it. And the other thing, too, is that when the give and receive effect, when you give to help people, it comes back to you. So if I give to you, Stephen, and help you, in return, you'll work harder for me and be more productive. And the third thing, really, a leader can do to show up confident is just remember to take care of himself, the balance. And I think that's more of something that is your topic than mine. So I'm going to turn that over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just had this conversation last week with a client where she's about 6 weeks into the Health Rebel solution, which is my weight loss program that I have over at Health Rebels. But she was talking about how much better she felt after workouts and how much more confident she felt. And I shared with her that the reason why people who exercise regularly have more self-confidence, it's not because of the body image. It's not because they're able to do more or they've got better sports performance.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's kind of living those values. The reason people that exercise have more self-confidence is because they're continually practicing keeping promises to themselves. Because that's what healthy habits really are. They're little tiny promises that you make to yourself, and then you show up and you prove to yourself that you're a person of integrity, of self-integrity, that you're able to make a commitment and see it through, that you face some challenges and you can overcome those. You're a person that you learn to trust, right? Imagine being really consistent with your exercise habits and looking in the mirror in the morning and being able to say, I trust you to do what you say you'll do. I trust you to be able to overcome challenges and see it through. I know that when you make a decision, I can count on you to make that happen. That's a lot of, if you say that to your leader in your organization, you're very confident to that leader. If you say it to yourself, you're even more confident in yourself. And I think that translates outside of your own personal health and wellness, obviously into other categories with interpersonal relationships, with your leadership at work, and any other walks of life.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's like you and I talked about. It's having when you take care of yourself and you feel good in yourself, you just naturally are feeling good projecting it onto others and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Well,
Yeah,
so
which
what
is
areas
one
of
thing.
balance do you recommend? Like
Say that
as
again.
what's that?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, what areas of balance do you recommend for healthy people to be,
Yeah, so areas of balance, there's a few different ways to kind of skin that cat. I do always encourage a holistic approach. With the Health Rebels, we focus on the 6 components of the holistic wheel, which I think you and I discussed 2 episodes ago, if you go
Mhm.
back into the catalog. But getting kind of that holistic approach, getting mindset, activity, nutrition, sleep, stress management, and having support. I think when you can dabble a little bit in each of those categories, they just support each other and magnify each other and make a greater effect. So,
Mhm.
to answer your question, the very obvious ones are exercise and nutrition, but I'd also encourage you to care about your sleep, to take some time to reflect and work on the mindset, and then to also deal with the stress management and your have some support in place.
Yeah, and that person by doing that feels better about themselves and shows up to work feeling better about themselves and is able to project that. I certainly feel better when I eat broccoli and lettuce than I do a ding dong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
and that's part of that's the self-talk that comes with that, right? Not only is it eating the broccoli, and we know that having good macronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the phytochemicals, having good nutrition helps you feel good from the inside out, but it's the action of doing it, right? It's
mhm.
knowing that you took a moment, you had options to take the easy route, the sweet route, the temptations, and not feel great afterwards, but you took the tough decision to have something that might not have been as exciting, but to be beneficial for yourself. You get that sense of pride in being able to stick to commitments to yourself, to take care of yourself, to see it through. And that sense of pride builds into self-confidence, knowing that
Mhm.
you showed up and took care of yourself like you knew you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like like when you start to see the weight loss or you start to see the muscle or or just I should say improvements, you just
Mhm.
naturally start to feel better too, and so yeah, I think that's absolutely right, and you just really taught me something. It's remembering for leaders when they show up in an organization, it's not so much leader and follower, there's a whole dynamic of that human being, like you said with the rebel filter, and I think it's great, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I think healthy habits help us with self-confidence. The change in the body image and the increased physical performance, they do help with self-confidence, but more so it's just the continual practice and ability to keep promises to yourself and to
Mhm.
overcome challenges and overcome obstacles. That really helps people be more confident in other areas of life. Knowing
Yeah,
that you overcame obstacles with health and wellness means that when there's a fire to put out in your work in your organization, you know that you're a person that can see it through, even through challenges, right?
yeah,
Keeping promises to yourself, you know that when you make a promise to a team member or someone in your organization, you have the confidence knowing that you're going to back that up as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's again, it's when we talk about leadership, we're talking about a leader and a follower, two people.
Mhm.
But when the leader feels good, it just helps inspire the follower. As the research shows, they'll emulate that leader to do better.
Yeah.
Like when I hang when you're when we're in meetings and you're talking, and you stand up and you got your Superman body. I mean, it just looks awesome. You know what I mean? And and it just you see, wow, whatever he's doing he's doing something right. And yeah, I think it's just a neat concept you brought, the understanding of the balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think before we go, I just want to ask, what one thing can somebody do today to start improving their health?
Ooh, I'm gonna do a slight pivot because you said one thing,
Yeah.
and it made me remember one of the most powerful concepts that I try to do with clients. When people start in, I have them make a power promise. I try to get them to make one suggestion of something that is so stupid easy to complete that we do it every day. Like I know Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, and also the author of the book Leaders Eat Last. He's got this power promise to himself that he's going to do one push-up a day, right? Even at like 11:30 at night, if he forgets and he remembers, it takes 3 seconds to do a push-up. He's done. He gets to check the box. And what I would encourage people to do, you said that one thing to improve your health. I would have a power promise, something so stupid easy that it takes no effort at all, but you get to practice that promise to yourself each day, and you get to maintain momentum and forward movement every single day. Now, of course, with the push-up example, it's very, very, very rare that Simon Sinek does one push-up. Usually one push-up leads to 10 or something. But the standard is one. If he's really not feeling it, he's got permission to do one. I've had clients with different power promises where it was drink a glass of water when they wake up, right? So silly, easy. You just put it on your nightstand, no effort. Boom, you're already taking care of yourself. You're already keeping promises to yourself. You're already working on your daily confidence. I've had people whose power promises was getting 5,000 steps a day. That's half of what's usually recommended for most people with the 10,000 step standards. So it was really easy, but it was just enough that they had to think about it and check that box. There's been a lot of different power promises. Some of it's just avoiding one particular soda that was really bad for them long term in the past. But we really want to make it so silly easy. I've got one client, their power promise is to just do one stretch a day because they were really locked up, felt really bad, wanted their joints to feel better. So they just did one stretch a day, usually led to a handful of stretches. But we want to start off with just something stupid easy, so easy that it's almost impossible not to do it. And that would be my one tip. Find your power promise and keep that every single day.
And that's what it is. I couldn't think of who you remind me of, but you remind me of Richard Simmons because of your passion. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You have a passion, you got energy, and you care. You have a really big heart. And of course, I know you're not Richard Simmons, you're Stephen Hicks. But how can people find your program, Mr. Hicks?
Yeah, you can find me on my website, healthrebels.us. It's got information about the Health Rebel Solution, my online coaching program. It's also got my blog if you want some more information. If you like listening to my pretty voice, you can also find the Health Rebels podcast on all major streaming platforms.
Yeah, well, I will. I think you're a great guy, dude, and you just have so much energy. And yeah, this is Mr. Stephen Hicks from Health Rebels. And
yeah, Scott, Dr. Scott, before we wrap up, I'm going to throw that question back at you. You asked for one big takeaway with health and wellness. In servant leadership, what is one thing that leaders can implement today to get more confidence within themselves and their organization?
I would say the walk, talk the talk. When your values align with your words and your speech, you just feel confident by yourself, and it shows through your employees. So just taking the time to remember your words are everything, and if you start having that goes bad, then people don't believe you. And so I would say value alignment, walk the walk, talk the talk.
Thanks. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for our show. And let's see, it's July 6th, and we wish everybody a great day. Bye-bye.